Okay, good evening. Welcome to
MinuteMath number 162.
MinuteMath number 162. This is a really neat problem from the Mathematical Association of America's MinuteMath page. And they've been giving problems lately from AMC 12. And about half the people got this problem right, but it has a slight problem that you've never heard of this idea before.
Yeah.
So the good news is it isn't that hard of a problem. The bad news is
I don't know how to do this.
right, you don't know how to do it. So I'm going to explain because it's kind of neat. So let's let f be a linear function for which f of 6 minus f of 2 is 12. What is f of 12 minus f of 6? Okay, now that seems pretty weird if you don't know what it means, right?
Yeah.
Do you know
Why f of 12?
I don't know, it's just what they decided. Do you know somebody who doesn't know what this means?
Me.
Good. All right, so what do you think a function is? Have you ever even heard of that word before?
No.
No? Okay, well, try to think of something really simple. A function, this isn't a very precise definition of a function, but it's kind of a simple definition of a function. A function is going to take a number and turn it into some other number. Like 3x plus 2, for example. Okay. Or a function might take a number and turn it into x squared. So if this was my function and I said f of x is x squared, and I said, okay, well if that's the function, it takes a number and x squares it. If I gave you the number 2, what would f of 2 be?
It'd be 4.
4. What would f of minus 2 be?
It'd be 4.
4, right. Now, some functions are restricted a little bit. 1 over x.
Reciprocal.
I can't put in 0 to this function, right?
Yeah.
F of x is the square root of x. Can I put negative numbers into this?
No.
No, unless we've talked about imaginary numbers, which
We haven't too much.
that gets into a little bit of a complication. I'm going to put the erase. Okay, now, so that's what a function, that's a very simple definition of a function. The actual definition is a little more complicated, but not much more, actually. So, linear function. Do you remember what a line is? Do you remember, that's one of the last things we talked about at the end of the school year, the equation for a line. Do you remember? What was important? I mean, there were two things that were important about lines.
Well, the x and y coordinates.
The x and y coordinates of some points. The intercepts, yeah. And what was the other thing that was important about a line?
Well, the origin.
Well, the origin's just a point. The intercepts are important. There's another geometric property that a line has that's important.
Well, it's infinite in both directions.
That's true.
What other geometric properties do lines have?
Remember the equation for a line? Y equals
mx plus y plus
b.
Yeah,
Right.
mx plus b.
X plus b. What is m?
The forward. No, wait. What is it?
What was that word?
B is the y-intercept.
B is the y-intercept when x equals 0. And m represented the
What? The slope.
slope. There you go.
Slope. Okay.
So a linear function is going to look a lot like this. Okay? Alright. Mx plus b. So f of 6 minus f of 2 is 12. How do you calculate the slope of a line? Do you remember? Any 2 points? What do you do to take the slope?
Well, it's this equation,
Right?
and you need to figure out x.
Yeah, but if I gave you 2 points on a line, let's say this was 0, 2, and this was minus 2, 0, how do you find the slope of the line? Do you remember?
No.
Change in y,
Oh yeah, the change in y over the change in x.
change in x gives me the slope. Okay? Here we have something that looks a lot like change in y. Instead of y, we're talking about the change in the function. F of 6 minus f of 2, that's the difference in the function. 6 minus 2 is 4. So if f of 6 minus f of 2 equals 12, that means f of 6 minus f of 2 over 4, 6 minus 2, equals 3. So I just divided both sides by 4.
Yep.
That tells me the slope. Okay, now f of 12 minus f of 6, for a line, the slope's always the same. So I gotta divide by 12 minus 6. I have a feeling the problem actually asks for f of 12 minus f of 2, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's the same
It's the same idea.
concept.
Okay, now I gotta divide by 6, and this equals 3, because 3 is the slope. So what does f of 12 minus f of 6 equal?
It's just, it needs to equal 18.
Right, I just multiply both sides by 6.
And we don't even have to figure out what the function is.
Right, you don't even have to figure out what the function is. That's the really neat thing about this problem, is you don't have to figure out what the function is. It's just any linear function will satisfy this property. So probably next year we'll start talking about functions. Although it sounds like we might have to review lines a little bit, right?
A little.
A little bit. All right, good job, sweetie. Good job.